Hi, my name is Roderick Hurley. I'm the principal at Bedford Junior High School, and I've been asked to go through the changes that were made to the evaluation tool here at BPS. So I'm just going to point out a few things. This is a presentation you will be given a copy of, plus you'll be given a copy of the spreadsheet tool itself. So once again, a group of teachers and administrators met to go over the process and to suggest changes and to make changes to the evaluation. The mission of the group was to streamline the process with attainable goals while following new state guidelines through a collaborative effort. So you're going to be given some resources. There'll be a spreadsheet, and on the spreadsheet, I have a copy of it, or the copy you'll be given right here. See at the bottom there's tabs. So you got a rubric, you got a calculator, you got the long observation, the final observation, the mini observation, just copies of the questions, the pre-observation with the questions and a link, and the post-observation with the questions and a link. Nice thing about the link is if you for some reason delete your email when the administrator makes the request to meet, you can always go back to the spreadsheet to the links. So that's there for you. The rubric. So no changes were made to Part A, competence, Part B, classroom management, Part E, communication, and Part G, use of technology. No changes were made there. Under Part C, there was one change. We moved the Connect assessments to instruction, curriculum, and activities from Category C to Category D data. We added a new criteria under Category D, and it's a collection system for formative assessment data. And under Category F, professional work habits, the attendance criteria has been removed. So those are the changes to the rubric. Mini observations. Mini observations stayed exactly the same. Observations stayed exactly the same. You'll be getting them from the BPS Evaluations at mybedford.us address. Remember, we'll do multiple observations at a minimum of 2, but could be more than 2. Pre and post observations, once again, will come from that BPS evaluation. Make sure you do not reply to that address, though, because it goes out to the BPS evaluation and the principals do not have access to that. So we wouldn't know if you replied or not, so make sure you send questions right directly to your administrator. Long observation, we reduced the criteria. Not all criteria was observable, so what we did was remove the non-observable criteria, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's kind of go look at the little tool here. So let's start with the rubric that we talked about. So we moved that one category on collecting assessment data from Part C to Part D. Then we added a whole new category or criteria under Part D. If we look there, so we're down to Part D right here. And we added collection system for formative assessment data. So to be ineffective in that area, a teacher rarely or never uses an observable system and or routines for recording formative assessment data. To be minimally effective, a teacher has an observable system and routines for recording formative assessment data. Part D, a teacher has an observable system and routines for recording formative assessment data, uses multiple strategies, and often uses the system for instructional purpose. And to be highly effective in that category, teacher has an observable system and routines for recording formative assessment data, uses multiple strategies, and consistently uses the system for instructional purposes. So that was the big change to the evaluation under the rubric. So not, like I said, not a lot of changes to the rubric here. If you look under, we have our final observation, our long observation tabs here. Pre-observation, you have your questionnaires. Questions did not change. Remember, this is just something to stimulate instruction, guide questions when you meet with your administrator. I want to do the post-observation with you. If I click on the link, and it brings it up, this is a different thing here. You have to now be logged into your My Google account. The nice thing about that is, if you recall from last year, you had to get into a giant list of almost 300 odd employees and log and search the list for your name. You don't have to do that anymore because it knows it's you. So at the top here, you should see right there, username, it's me. If it's not me, I'd sign out. So you go ahead and you fill it out. Put your date, evaluating administrator. Be careful. A lot of people would put me. I don't know if you guys like me a lot or just because I was first on the list. I'm going to assume that it's because you like me, but be careful. Make sure you pick your building principal person that's evaluating you. So I'm just going to pick some things. Then remember, you do have to fill out every single part of the questionnaire or it'll pop back to you. Right here, send me a copy of my response. Don't do that because I have it automatically doing that, so do not bother clicking that because that'll just add one more email to your list. So you hit submit and it'll zap it to you. So don't click on that. Like I said, it just adds one more thing for you to get into your email inbox. So if I go to my inbox, looks like I got something from BPS Evaluations. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to hit view, and here's the big change here. The top part's the same. So for the post-conference questionnaire, top part's exactly the same. The bottom part, there's some changes here. And what this is basically, if you recall from your long observation, there was a lot of blanks there because many things weren't observable during the long observation. In other words, it's silly to have a section of, when we do a long observation, to talk about what type of communications you've done with your parents. That would be a hard thing to find. Or how do you use your technology to enhance your productivity? That'd be hard to see when you're doing your long observation. So we took those out. So where that's reflected in the actual long observation, you go with the tool. Looks the same. Top part the same. Second part the same. Third part the same. We start getting to the fourth part. We only leave things that you may see during the long observation. For example, under data, part 6, using the system for formative assessment data. That is something that we should be able to see during a long observation. Communication. Communicating feedback with students on their learning progress. That's something that we could see under a long observation. Professional work habits. Implementing the school improvement plan is something we could see under the long observation. Technology, the second and third parts, are things that we could see under a long observation. Under a long observation. So we have all those there for you. So we did remove some of that, so it'll be a little bit shorter in the amount of paper, but you shouldn't have all the blanks that we had before. Go back to the evaluation presentation here. The criteria values stay the same. 1 for an ineffective, 2 for minimally effective, 3 for an effective, 4 for a highly effective stayed the same. Weights did change once again. The competence is 15. The classroom management skills was 15, and delivery of instructions 15. Last year, all 3 of those categories were 20 each. Data last year was 10%. Now it's 25%. Next year will be 40%, and the year after will be 50%. So be careful. Those are moving up. Perfect communication, professional work habits, and use of technology are each 10%. So what will happen is your overall effective rating is 90 and above is highly effective, 70 to 90 or 89.99999 is effective, 60 to 69.99999 is minimally effective, and below 60 is ineffective. So if we go back to the tools and see how I'm here, there's little arrows at the bottom here. I can just arrow all the way to the left. I should see calculator. Remember, this calculator, use this as a reflective piece to reflect on areas that you want to improve on, maybe to put a little weight behind, oh, you know what, I do need to work more in this area. So you have your tool. So what I would recommend is fill in your items from last year. So I'm just going to make up scores for someone. And just kind of go through each section and just fill those in. Hey, look at that, I already magically filled some of these in. So at the very bottom then, you can see, so this teacher, I broke it up in each area, told the percentage for each area, and gave an overall score. So this person was rated as an effective teacher. So good job, whoever you are. Do this on your own, though. I do recommend that you take last year's numbers and put those in there, because the big thing to remember, once again, is that data is now a quarter of the evaluation. So if you were a low, highly effective last year, that's enough and your data was a little bit lower, that could bump you into the effective range. So be careful. Make sure you use this as a reflective piece here. Go back to the thing. So there's our ratings there. So there's a lot of information there. The buildings each are going to have independent optional meetings for you to meet afterwards in order to go through this if you have questions with an administrator. So those will be there for you. If you have any questions for me or the members of the group, and here's the members of the group again, make sure you ask us or email us, and we'll try to help as best as possible. Once again, thank you. I'm Roderick Hurley over at the junior high school. I appreciate your time, and if you have any questions, see someone on this group, and have a great day.